Okay, hello everybody. My name is Kylie Bryant, and today I'm going to talk about oils and cats. It's been quite funny. We had to try and chase her down, find her, and bribe her to be with me today. So we have three cats in our home, and this is our youngest. This is Missy, and Missy Moo came to us with a few little issues. Actually, she had toxic overload or central nervous system damage from all the different treatments that she had being a rescue kitten. And some cats just can't tolerate that. And unfortunately, she wasn't able to walk straight, had no balance, couldn't find her food bowl, couldn't jump and fall on her face, and was wobbly and walked with her head on the side. So some of you that know me would have seen videos of when we got little Missy. And yeah, it was a sad little sight to see. But she's now a very, very active cat who, yes, you even the vet, our vet cannot believe what a recovery she has made. So she's just over one now, and she's pretty full on. So we had cats well before we knew about Young Living, or we started using natural alternatives for our pets and for our family. But what I've noticed is that I have a lot of people. There's a lot of fear out there. So a lot of people are very concerned about using oils with cats. They read things on the internet and they go into that panic mode. So, there's headlines like essential oils kill cats and all this sort of thing. It's really quite disturbing when you sort of get those messages, and it's really, really not the case. Okay. So the one thing you have to remember is not all essential oils are the same. Most essential oils are made in a laboratory. They use solvents in the pot. There might be a lot of pesticides used even in the growing of the plants, and they're diluted and they're adulterated. The majority of oils in the world, 95% of them are made for fragrance, so the quality does not matter. And so they do a lot of different things to try and extract more oil or to make it a stronger scent for a more diluted oil. So they add different solvents and chemicals, which will cause more harm than good. So we really don't want to do that and use those ones. So when you look into any of those claims, when you go back over them, you will find that the quality of oils may be one of the issues, although adulterated. Or the other thing is that people were silly. They used ridiculous amounts of oils or cleaning product type oils and really didn't follow instructions. Essential oils are really, really safe. Young Living oils, there's actually no exclusions of which oils you should use for your cats when you're using it correctly. And I have used this little one here, has used blends with citrus oils in it, all sorts of things. When she came into our life, she was using Longevity Blend, frankincense and kunzia. So there were three that she was using, as well as she was drinking tincture as well. So I'll talk about a little bit how you can use your tincture with cats, and she absolutely loved her tincture as much as I do. So she still gets it every now and then, but not daily like she used to. What I love about Young Living, there is actually an animal sense range. So we have a range of oils specifically for pets, and they have the dilution and details on there. So usually, like before we had this range, I would always treat a dog like a child and a cat like a baby, okay? Because cats they are a lot more sensitive, and you have to be careful with the quantity that you're using. So essential oils are incredibly safe for cats. She's going crazy. Essential oils for cats when you're using them correctly. Okay, so I'm very passionate about reducing chemicals in the home because I've been on my own journey. I've had hormonal issues. I've got two daughters, and one of them has had some thyroid issues. So we're really conscious of using things that are hormone disrupting or can cause harm in our home. But it's the same for cats as well. So over the last 30 years, the amount of cats with thyroid conditions has increased tenfold. Okay, more cats are dying of cancer and liver conditions, but hypothyroidism is on the rise. It's huge. Okay, so what they've discovered is hypothyroidism in cats, a lot of it is from their diet, but much of it is because of fire retardants in clothing, bedding, and furniture. But it's not just the fire retardants as well. It's actually what they've discovered is where they've tested these cats, there's been over 70 constituents or chemical compounds that have actually caused these harms. And a lot of them are household cleaners and that word fragrance, okay? So why are cats so much more susceptible and so much more sensitive than we are? It's that actually they have, their sense of smell is quite huge. So, you know, people, if I go over and pat them with some oil, sometimes they might move away from me, they come back because their sense of smell is so much stronger. We have 5 million olfactory receptors in our nose. They have 200 million, okay? So their sense of smell is so much stronger than ours. That's just the way they're obviously designed. So when you're diffusing, I make sure doors are open and they can leave. It's funny, they don't leave though. We've got diffusers in the bedroom and they love to curl up on the pillow or near the diffuser, and they absolutely love it. I'm going to tell you what some of their favourites are. Cats are instinctively smart. They will move away from things they need. If they feel sick, they'll eat lawn. You know, cats are quite clever. They generally won't do things that they know are bad for them. So that's one thing. Their sense of smell is so much more stronger than ours. We're 5 million olfactory receptors, they're 200 million, so huge difference there. The other thing is that they have a lot of fur, so actually their little hair follicles per square inch, there's so many of them, and that actually draws the oil down into their system. So you don't need to use anywhere near as much oil on a cat as you would with a dog the same size because of how many hair follicles they actually have. And the other thing is that cats are missing a liver detoxification enzyme. So it's not that you can't use certain oils like citrus oils, it's more that their system takes a lot longer to be able to metabolize it. So you have to use a very little and not very often, okay? So, but I always refer to, what's up, miss? I always refer to my reference guides, and I mean, we've got a great flyer that you get a hold of, whoever shared this video with you. If you're not a member in our team, these flyers are Artemis put together and they're amazing. Okay, lots of information in there. I love Ali Phillips. She's amazing. She has a really great book called The Oily Pet. I've got some others that I love. I love to collect pet books and ones written by veterinarians. So lots of information there. So these are people that are endorsing and saying how safe and amazing it is to use essential oils. But another one that you can get from Life Science. And if you have pets, this is an awesome book to have from Life Science Australia, because it's got references for what to do for all sorts of things for cats and dogs. And it's just a really great go-to with anything that is going on. So I might have mentioned too that Missy is a rescue kitten. All of our cats are actually rescue kittens. So they've come to us often with a bit of trauma. Well, actually the last two, their foster mum was so absolutely gorgeous. She sort of dealt with that sort of thing, and she's an oily foster cat mum. So she was using oils with them from birth. So they're quite used to essential oils. I find that cats love the really stinky, earthy ones more than anything. So here she's come to join us. So they love like vetiver, valerian, myrrh. Missy loves Frank. She's had frankincense from a very young age. She loves Frank. And things like gentle baby. If you want your cats to calm down, I should have done this before I started this video, putting some gentle baby in your diffuser is a great way to go. This is how I will use oil on my cats. If I'm using it neat, if I haven't got around to, I'll put a drop in my hand. I'll rub my hands together. And then, so most of it's been, my hands have used most of the oil, okay? And then I'll just pet her and pat her. She's sitting on my printer at the moment. She loves printers. And that's a really great way of being able to use your oils with the cats. The other way is to actually, we can dilute them and put a drop on the cat directly. Now, I never drop around the head because you don't want it to go in their ears or in their eyes. Same for us, you know, oil should never go in the eyes or inside the ears. So dropping it somewhere else is a really good idea. And also I like to use from the back of the neck down because they're not smelling it so directly because, as I said, their sense of smell. But there's certain oils, anything with blue tansy, my pets absolutely love. So that's a good one to use as well. So why would you use essential oils in your home? Because, you know, I was just speaking to a lady just then about candles, okay? So, before I had essential oils, I used to use candles and plug-ins, and I had no idea how much I was bombarding my cats and myself with all of these synthetic fragrances that were causing all sorts of issues. So she's getting up to no good. I think I might have to push her out of the room. Missy, come down. So you can't see her at the moment, but she's on the bookshelf. She's mischief, that one. So yeah, and I used to be a big clean freak and used lots and lots of chemical cleaners in the home and had no idea how that was impacting their health and my health as well. As I said, these cats with different health conditions like hypothyroidism, they've found over 70 toxic chemicals, many of them cancer causing as well, and they come from cleaning products, our fragrances, perfumes and things like that. So I often get very defensive when people go, oh, you can't use essential oils around cats. Meanwhile, they're spraying brands of cleaning products or cleaning their floors with toxic chemicals that they bought from the supermarket, and your cat's absorbing all of those through their pads of their paw when they're walking along, or when they're laying on your bed, or when you pick them up on your clothing. You know, they're very sensitive and they can't, you know, they're getting those things into their system. So we wash all the cat's bedding with Thieves laundry soap, and all of our bedding, our clothing, everything is washed with that. So that is a great way. There's no synthetic fragrances, no nasties, nothing that's going to harm them whatsoever. And we clean our house with Thieves. Now, I don't know about you, but my cat loves to drink out of the shower. All my cats like to drink out of the shower. They've got clean drinking water, but they prefer shower water. I've got no idea. So we don't use anything nasty in the shower. We only use our Thieves cleaner, okay, which is cause them no harm whatsoever. I also use this to clean out their kitty litter trays as well in between when I empty them out, and I use the Thieves cleaner for that as well. And this little one, she's a white kitten, well, partly white, and she loves to come in with a dirty face. I don't know where she gets it, but she goes underneath the house and she comes out filthy. So we clean her face with Seedling's baby wipes, and she's quite used to that. And it's quite funny how quickly she calms down with the lavender as well. So really, really safe. The baby wipes we use in our house for cleaning my dog's ears and face, as well as the cats as well. So there's some of the items that we use apart from essential oils. Now, the different ways that you can use oils with your cat, as I said, putting a drop on your hands and patting them is a great way. Using one of your empty bottles, and 5 ml bottle, and filling it with V6 oil. So that's our V6 carrier oil. I buy the big one, but there's a smaller one as well. And just putting 3 drops in there. Okay, so diluting 3 drops to 5 ml, and then you can drop that directly on your cat, but not around the ears and eyes. Okay, totally safe, really good for them as well. When you start using an oil, you might only want to use it a couple of times a week until their body gets used to that. They don't need very much at all. Diffusing is not a problem. You can diffuse, as I said, as long as they're not in a closed room, and you know, that they can move away if they want to, but it won't do them any harm. You just don't want them to be uncomfortable. And what else? The other way we can use it is our kitty litter. Okay, so I had an elderly cat who unfortunately left our home 18 months ago, and Daisy was with us for a very long time, and unfortunately she did have hypothyroidism. We didn't understand all the things that we're using in the home were causing her any harm. So she used to have little seizures and fall over and have a nice long sleep, and then she'll be fine again. So we started using Litter-Roma. So Litter-Roma is using a cup of bicarb, and I've got like a shaker bottle here, a cup of bicarb and a few drops of oil. And I used to use frankincense because I like frankincense. You can use lavender or geranium or something like that if you want to make it smell pretty. But we're using frankincense because that was the best for that cat at that time. And so I would shake that on a kitty litter whenever I do any scooping out. And she was being able to then enjoy the frankincense in a very diluted form and be able to absorb that when she was scratching around in there. And she actually really, really loved it. And it was one of those oils that she really benefited from. And she kicked on for a lot longer than what we thought. We actually thought we were going to lose her a couple of years earlier. And she ended up dying of old age, which was really quite beautiful. And frankincense, as I said, I used to put it on my hands. I used to put it on my face before I went to bed, but I'll give her a little bit of a pat with it as well. And she absolutely loved that. What else haven't I covered? Inner Balance is such a lovely little one to rub on their tummy. I do that for my border collie as well as my cats because we don't want them to have any digestive issues. And another one I love to use Puriclean or sometimes citronella in the dilution I was telling you about, because I no longer put chemicals on the back of their neck like I used to, but I don't need any need for that. My cats don't have anything that's irritating them, but if they do go outside and they are having a bit of a scratch, I will use one of those oils, dilute it as you would for cats, and give them a bit of a little bit of a pat, and they're actually fine. That's how I choose to work with that as well. You can actually put a drop of oil on their bedding. If you don't want to put it on your cat, you can put it on their toys. If you want them to play with their toys, they can do that too. As diffusing little aroma, that's pretty about it. You can do a kitty raindrop as well, so you can have a look for that to do a raindrop. And it's funny enough, when you look at some of those oils, they're the oils that people say will kill your cat, and my cats have enjoyed kitty raindrops and using those oils diluted and giving them a little bit of a massage, and they absolutely love it as well. So okay, Ningxia. So my cat needed a little bit of extra antioxidants, a little bit of help, because as I said, she had some little bit of issues of having a little bit too much treatment for her young little body, and she just could not cope with it. Everybody's different, like humans, we're all different, and unfortunately her little system said enough. So we were putting 5 ml of Ningxia and mixing it in her cat food, her kitten food, and she was actually really loving that. You could just start off with a little pipette, and you work your way up to half a teaspoon or quarter of a teaspoon is fine. So a little bit of Ningxia to help with their and actually they like wolfberries, so if I drop a wolfberry on the floor, they'll eat that as well. The dried berries themselves, they quite like them as treats, and they're lovely for those cats to use as well. So I'm trying to think if there's anything that I missed. So cutting all the chemicals out of your home, really, really important, because we know that they have an impact on our health, but what they do to our pets is even more so. So, you know, I only use thieves on my floor. I only use thieves in my shower. It's actually all I use anywhere. What you're washing your clothes with and what they're laying on in their bedding is really important as well. They often can't tell you that they're not feeling good and they don't like it. But yeah, this is incredibly safe. She's hiding in a hole. She's not going to come out today. Going to come and say hello? Hey, going to come say hello? Not as cooperative as Elmo in the dog video. I'm sorry about that. She's a little bit of a minx, this one, but she's a very happy, healthy little cat. So please, if you are unsure, as I said, follow those guidelines. If you get any of the Pet Sense oils, they have the instructions on the label. So they are incredibly safe. Otherwise, there are some really great, as I said, I've shown you some great reference books. This flyer pretty well tells you everything you need to know. The little Cat 101 book as well that I like. But there's some great, you can look up in this, in our members forum if you're a member, and put cats in the search box, and you'll find lots of information there on what you can use and how you can use it. And also there's some really good Facebook pages like Essential Oils in a Pet's Home, which is run by pet professionals and a vet. And there's some really great information in there as well. So please don't get scared by all these scary things that you can read. There's a lot of myths around oils and cats, but part of me is very grateful for that, because I would hate for people to go and buy an off-the-shelf oil from a supermarket that is really very little plant material at all, because there's nothing governing those. So they can have like only a little bit of plant material in there and call it an essential oil. And of course that will do harm to your cat and do harm to you as well. So when I am talking about using any of these oils, I'm talking about Young Living only. And if you're new to Young Living, I suggest that you do your research and you'll see why they're safe to use with your loved furry friends. There is an oil that I just wanted to cover. It's called Pet Care. Okay, so Pet Care is a bit of a fave. I diffuse it in the house for the kids and everybody, to be honest. It is such a beautiful oil. And if you are somebody that has pets that are scared of lightning or thunder or fireworks, or possibly, we use this a lot when we brought a new cat into our home, because sometimes it takes a while for them to work out the dynamics and they're not very friendly with each other initially. And as I said, 3 of my cats were rescue cats. So, you know, they had a little bit of trauma before they came to their foster parents and to us. So Pet Care is such a beautiful blend. Now, if you're an essential oils user and you know Young Living, you're going to love the blends that are in this one. It's got Trauma Life, Okay, so Trauma Life is such a wonderful one for them to be able to release and move forward, which is great. It's also got Harmony. So Harmony is really important for getting pets to get along. So if there's a new animal coming into a house, Harmony is such a gorgeous one to have. And it's also got Peace and Calming, which is our second cat, Sparky, who's the fluffy one. That's her favourite oil is Peace and Calming. So it has all three of those ones in together. And it's such a beautiful one to use with animals that are just feeling out of sorts, or maybe they're missing mum and dad. If you're going away on holidays or you're going off to work and they're not themselves, that's a really great one to put in the diffuser. So if you have any questions and you're in the members forum and this is a playback, please ask, or you can message me. I'm more than happy to help. Look up anything that you'd like. I absolutely love using my oils with cats, and I love to help educate people so they're not scared and we can all use essential oils safely. So just read the instructions. Remember, dilute a lot because cats are different, but they are incredibly safe and a lot safer than what people have got under the kitchen cupboards and using in their home generally. So hopefully you're using some of our beautiful low tox products for your furry friends in the home as well. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Bye.